Hey everyone, today we're mowing a very overgrown property. It may look really overgrown to some people, maybe it doesn't. That's only 4 months of growth, but it's still 2 feet tall. All right, that went well. I love the Craftsman lawnmowers. They don't bog down even over that heavy brush. Look at that. Ticks are a problem here. Not too bad of a problem. Only found one on me doing all this brush. This is what a lot of people do in the country. There's areas of the property that you just don't mow every time. You do it like once every couple of years to keep it down from turning into forest, but it's also not part of the yard either. I honestly think mowing every week is stupid because you can't see where you're mowing. You see, there's hardly a difference here, and that's been a month. So you tend to do crooked lines if you can't see where the wheel marks are left. Now, all the machines I have, probably got a dozen lawnmowers now. I find them all free on the side of the road. People wonder why I have so many. Well, people throw them out for dumb reasons. Usually, the engine's all gelled up because no one has ever changed the oil in the machine's life. Or most commonly, the carburetor's messed up. Sometimes people store the machines outside, so the brake line, the cable going to the engine brake, it'll be all corroded and rusted up. Sometimes you gotta replace them or lubricate them at the very least. I got a tick on my leg. Out of all the free lawnmowers I ever got, I actually have 2 of these. They're identical, except one of them's not self-propelled. That's a very good engine. I have run over trees with this thing. It's never broken down. When I first got it, it had the cable was frozen. I actually knocked on the guy's door because it's such a good machine. I asked, "Are you selling that or giving it away?" Nope, he was giving it away. He said it wouldn't start. I put penetrating oil, got it started in like a half an hour. This is probably a $500 machine. And it's better to get the ones with the bigger engine. On this high grass, it doesn't bog down. Usually the cheaper Toros that would get from the Home Depot, those wouldn't be able to handle higher grass, especially wet grass. These ones have a higher RPM, so even on wet grass with dull blades, it cuts it because it's moving so fast. You don't even have to sharpen the blades on these. But I had a Toro that I found, got it working, but wasn't a very good machine unless you were consistently mowing all the time. Had to keep the blade really sharp or you'd have to go over it a few times. Very weak engines on those. There's this one guy's property that I take care of. I use his machines. He has a Craftsman lawnmower from 1994. Still starts every year on first pull. When I first started doing work on that property, I told him, you got to change the engine oil on this thing, because he hadn't done it in 20 years. So it does work a lot better since I started maintenance on it. But one thing I love about the older 1994 model, this one here, there's plastic teeth on the inside of this wheel that catches the metal drive gear. Because metal on plastic, it will wear it out after a few years. Not a huge deal. The front wheels of this machine, you can get, these are knockoff wheels from eBay, 20 bucks, work perfect. But the older machine from the 90s and earlier has metal on metal teeth. It'll last as long as the machine. Because this in here has a pulley here with a belt. When you pull this cable, it tightens that up to the shaft that's always spinning with the engine. So that's how you turn it on and off. It's not like the other ones where you actually have to, you know, engage a lever. This one has its own lever on the top of it with the brake. I have another one of these machines where I didn't want to spend the money on the cable. So what I did is here and here, you take a C-clamp to close this, and then you can run the machine fine. Then you just click the C-clamp off it when you're all set. Very overgrown yard. These bushes have to be trimmed back, grass has to be mowed, trees have to be trimmed, and there's probably a lot of ticks in there too. Check it out, the old 1994 Craftsman lawnmower. Back when things were still made right. It always starts on first pull. It says in the instructions, prime it 3 times, but honestly, you gotta do it 30 times, and it starts right up. Saw that? One pull. From start to finish, cleaning that stuff up. Took exactly 9 minutes. That's pretty good to do that hedge. 9 minutes, all cleaned up. I haven't done yard maintenance in such a long time. Actually moved 250 miles away, but this guy couldn't find anyone else to do it the way I did, so generously paid for my gas for me to come down and do it again, despite the 500-mile journey. Pretty good. I'll be spending about 5 hours on this property today, doing a whole bunch of hedge trimming, along with the mowing we already did. There's a whole bunch of mess here. Yeah, I see there's a few things still left on the ground there. Even though I scraped the machine along the bottom, still got to go over that with a weed whacker. The old machine would have done this perfectly, but not this one. The other machine was actually tiny. It would have taken forever. This one has a really long blade. It's from Harbor Freight, 40 bucks. Been using it constantly. Hasn't broken down. I don't think I can break it within the 90-day warranty, honestly. The only issue I have with it is the shears. They're not self-lubricating. You got to pour oil on them like every hour of use, and it makes a loud, high-pitched noise. I actually have to wear earplugs. Every other hedge trimmer I've used never had to wear earplugs. They were pretty well insulated. Check out this big flood. There's literally a busted culvert pipe here, because if you see right here on the left, you see trickling water going over the other side. This entire puddle is even with the pond on the right side. Really deep water, probably a foot. And the pond on our left, it's only 6 inches down. So there's a busted culvert, but even if the culvert wasn't busted, that puddle wouldn't go away. There's only 6 inches of elevation. They need to fix that culvert. Oh, that was the culvert there. And then they need to raise the road back up. Yeah, I gotta look at that culvert. That's gonna bug me. Got a lot of birdhouses here. Oh, people been unclogging it. Look at that big pile. Oh, that thing is tiny. That is a tiny culvert. Look at it. Is it plugged? Yeah, it's plugged. There's not a thing. Well, actually, I did get some current going, but I can feel it's built like all the way in there. Yeah, there's no getting that out by hand. I can't really tell you if it's beaver related or not, but not much we can do by hand. How big is this thing? Actually, maybe we can do some stuff here. If I can get it to start picking up, I'll go grab the rake and get the rest out of this out. Yeah, this was beavers. See how the end of it's chewed? Using a bunch of little twigs to get this thing going. But that means my efforts are useless. You've seen my beaver videos before. Even if I got that thing going a bunch, it'll be clogged up as soon as the sun goes down. Yeah, we can't do that one. It looks like a 3-foot diameter pipe, and that would go down a ton. And I'm feeling junk built all the way through it. They need a culvert jet badly. Down here is what we just drove through. And I was explaining, even if that culvert is clear, it doesn't matter. This puddle's never gonna go away, because the puddle can never drop below the pond. And the pond looks to be maybe 6 inches. And look at that. Giant delta sandbar right here. That's what you're seeing under the water. It's not dirty. That's a sandbar. So unclogging this, it would reduce the puddle, but not really. See this big thing? This entire area of missing dirt is right here. They got to put a bigger culvert in and keep an eye on those beavers. Put a beaver-proof culvert. The way a beaver-proof culvert is, from the side of the road, it'll continue out maybe 10 feet, and it'll be shaped like a big cone, so the water pours into it silently without making noise. Noise is what attracts and drives the beavers nuts. If they don't hear it, they won't mess with it. And also, if it's in the middle like that, in a cone, they don't really have the skills to know how to clog that. Hey everyone, today we are in the Mesomassic National Forest in Connecticut, going to look at the Nike missile site. Okay, we came up this couple-mile road, pretty smooth. Few areas are washed out, but for the most part it was pretty easy getting up here. Now down this trail, it looks like a half a mile ahead, there's a large clearing in the woods, and I can see a gigantic circle on the ground, which looks like it would be an underground missile silo with a few buildings near it. It looks pretty grown in from the satellite images, but there's also a Google pin in the middle of the woods I want to check out first to see what that's exactly pointing at. Whew. That trail was going somewhere else. Now I'm bushwhacking because I don't see an actual trail. Look at the fence posts. We're getting close to something. Just met up with an asphalt trail. That's what I'll take back. I thought that parking lot was for this. Guess I gotta walk down the street more. Now, we come up to a whole bunch of dilapidated, demolished buildings that are all burnt. See the stairs leading in? Would have been a little building, and it did have a basement. Yep, you can see right down inside. Now there's like 5 of these small buildings. All right, here we are at one of the many Nike missile silos. This gate is not supposed to be open. I know someone smashed it. But I'm gonna park here off the road and follow the trail. Yeah, these hikes are an entire waste of time. You come out here after looking at satellite images, you see this concrete slab. From overhead, it looks like a building because you see the shadows of the trees, and from satellite images, it looks like a roof with a bunch of holes in it. There's nothing left out here except some crumbled foundations. Nothing really to explore. It's just a waste of time. Like a mile down the street, that location's a little better. You actually got a few walls, but it's just crumbled concrete. Nothing much. That one, the missile silo, is actually still there, but it's a decommissioned landmark. You can't go inside it. You can walk around on the entrance of it up top, but that's about it. And you're on camera the whole time hanging out there. There's a bunch of cameras for whatever reason. It's not like someone's gonna break into it unless they have a cutting torch.